Hi everyone, this is Stacy Schroeder, President and Founder of EVelop, here to give you a quick run through of a training that I delivered as part of a cohort style live leadership program for a manufacturing association. The session was around 3 hours and it was on attracting, retaining, and engaging top talent. So what I want to do is just quickly run through these slides to give you an idea of the topics that we covered and some of the exercises that were included, without getting into the full nitty-gritty of the presentation. So as we get started there, of course, letting everyone know who I am, and then I set the stage with some facts around manufacturing in terms of the talent. So we've got some statistics, and then we really hone in on, well, why does it matter? Well, employees are the face of your business. It's who everyone is interacting with, from your internal to your external customers to your community, etc. And then we walk into, well, why does it really matter? So listing some of the costs of poor talent management. And I try to sprinkle in some quotes from interesting folks and some cartoons like you saw on the previous slide, just to get people thinking. And then of course we've got learning objectives, so all action-based. And then we get into the cycle for talent management. Of course there's many different models, but this is the one that we chose to use for this session. Then we get into a little bit more specifics. So policies and processes, another quote. And then I turned it over to the group for an exercise. So we've got some documents available as resources on the website, so you can see what these look like. But this was something where they paired up with another student and walked through an employee value proposition to get them thinking, why would somebody actually want to work for their company? And then we did a debrief as a group. And then we go into talent strategy and plan. So who should be involved, what some of the inputs are, some things that maybe they hadn't thought of before, other things to consider. Then the candidate experience, especially for small to mid-sized companies. This isn't something where maybe they personally have had a lot of experience applying for big companies or moving to companies in the past couple years, and things really have changed in the candidate landscape and the technology that's used. Ways to attract talent. So it's not just a matter of looking for a job that needs filled today, but it's building that pipeline for the future as well. And then I shared some resources specific to the trade association that this was prepared for. And then we moved into selecting the right people, so around interviewing, and then a little bit around the criteria to look, and really focusing in on the pre-work that needs to be done around understanding the role before you start posting a position and bringing in people to interview. The model that we used was behavioral-based interviewing. So we did a lot more explanation, and then we had them pair up and brainstorm at least 5 questions that would help them identify a candidate that would have the right skills and competencies to be successful at their company. And then of course we debriefed that as a larger group as well. And then we moved on into the engagement side. So once you have great people, keep them performing at the right level. So we've got a couple statistics to help set the stage. And then we moved into some real concrete actions that the individual can take to help retain and engage. And then we shared additional resources, again, from that trade association that we were supporting. Great quote. And then we talked about performance management. So how do you get concrete around managing performance and identifying people that are doing what you need them to do, and getting clear on areas for opportunity so that you can hold people accountable. And then we had them do a partner exercise where they thought through the members of their team. And the great thing about this program, it was folks from different companies, so it was still confidential in the sense that nobody was reporting to each other within this group, so it was a safe space for this type of exercise. Then I thought this was a funny quote and picture to share around performance management. And then this was a video, which I'm not going to show, but it's a really funny one around just how people can interpret things totally differently when it comes to performance management, which we definitely don't want. And then getting into checking in. So it's not just the annual performance review, but what can you do to make it an ongoing conversation that's more real-time feedback, both positive and constructive. So more about conversations. And then with this one, we gave them a scenario. We had them read through it, and they worked with a partner to think through some prompts that we gave and write down what other things would they be looking for, what information would they want, what questions would they ask, and how would they think about coaching this individual to get past the problems. And then we debrief that as a group as well. So then, of course, we end with a recap of the learning objectives, and we check in to make sure that everyone can answer, that they understand all of these and they feel comfortable with the tools and resources and the time they had to practice with the exercises. Then we've got another inspiring quote that and then we really tried to make it personal. So what are those things that the individual is willing to commit to change? And the last exercise, so commitment to change, we gave them a form to fill out, set the timer for 15 minutes, a lot of reflection, and then asked them to share with their neighbor, get feedback, and adjust to make their goals more clear. And then we did a group debrief, and that's how we ended the presentation. So I hope that you found this quick overview helpful, and we look forward to helping you and your team think about workforce development programs for your company.